What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of 27 and Q alongside that man right there, the two-time Super Bowl champ with the New York Football Giants and all great running back number 27, Mr. Brandon Jacobs, who's enjoying the nice weather down south. Rich Quinones is here. B, always good to chit-chat with you, brother. How are things?
Hey man, life is great, man. Everything is
Magnificent.
yes, yes.
Well, you guys caught
Great.
some good weather, which is good. I mean, I don't know if you were able to kind of stomach what you saw last night with the Giants against San Francisco. You had I think, a tweet that pretty much hit the proverbial nail on the head. Get in the friggin' weight room and man up, will you? Because that was a game I went back and I watched the game this morning. They just got manhandled by San Francisco. And, you know, I don't know if it was a situation where I didn't expect them to win the game, to be honest with you. I told you this before the season started. I'm not high on the defense. You got young corners out there. They don't have a pass rush. The line still has issues. It is what it is. But last night, man, you have to put up some resistance, especially the run defense. And then the offense was absolutely anemic. Listen, they're 1-2, big win coming up against big game, I should say, Seattle Monday night. What's your thoughts right now from last night?
I say, man. I mean, just got pushed around. I mean, that was my assessment. I made just watching it. Like they ran the ball at will, but they did what they wanted to do in the run game. Running by both tackles, even though one was a backup, but the other one on the right side ran. It was like I don't know, ran by him a few times. It was just like, just getting bull rushed into the quarterback lap and Daniel Jones trying to find somewhere to go, pocket collapsing down on him with no real running lanes in there for him. Defense just seemed like they giving up so much in the run game, and penalties is kicking our asses as well. So I mean,
And to get them off the field on third down too. You know this. I mean, San Francisco was lights out on third down, and you can talk about the officiating. You can talk about some of the flags. I mean, look, Trent Williams might sit there and say it was a love tap, but he should have been ejected. I mean, that's
absolutely
it. And listen, I know Thibodeau can get all pissed and bent out of shape about the one play, which was the PI. But if you're Martindale, why are you putting him back in coverage? I mean, I don't know, man. The first friggin' series of the season, they went right down the field, got a false start penalty, a bad snap, and then a blocked friggin' field goal, ran back the other way. And they have not recovered from that series against Dallas.
Well, you see why Martindale put him in a situation to cover. I mean, in order to be a well-rounded, every down defensive end or edge guy, you gotta drop back in coverage sometimes. You're gonna have to drop back in coverage. That's just what they're doing. You know what I mean? So I mean,
well, what are you seeing defensively? What are you seeing? Well, like what? Why can't is he taking himself out of the plays? Like, is he over pursuing? Is there a lack of gap discipline? I mean, what are you seeing from this defense, especially Thibodeau, where at least when Simmons is on the field, he's flying around. The kid McFadden was flying around. Like, if you drafted Thibodeau because you wanted him to be a game wrecker, and yet your defense is not designed to fit his strengths, what the hell did you draft him for?
What strengths though, Rich? We talking about a defensive end / edge guy. Every defense fits them. We can't get no pass rush. Quarterback standing in the pocket forever, baking cakes and making Rice Krispie treats and every damn thing else you want to do. But we just can't get a pass rush. We're not getting nothing from the inside guys, from the interior or defensive lineman. It's just so far through 3 games, it just hasn't looked very good. But again, you got a 18-week season, I guess you can call it. So we still got a lot of time to be able to turn around some stuff. I don't want to just be in the dumps on them already right now, but I just think that they got to do a lot more, and you cannot get stronger from here to next week. I think that's more of our problem of what we're dealing with. We might have to finesse some teams and start running more screens and stuff like that to get the ball out of Daniel Jones's hands, and where the physical aspect of it won't be that much of a problem because the ball is gone.
I thought the bigger loss last night was not having Thomas out there, not Saquon. That's just me. I mean, I understand what Saquon's bringing to the table. I know they have to pound the rock more just to keep the defenses honest, but that offensive line, I just explain this to me, please. You won 2 Super Bowls and your offensive line had cohesion. These guys were together for years, right? Seibert and Snee and McKenzie and Deal and the likes. How long does it really take to get an offensive line intact where you ride these guys for 2, 3, 4, 5 years? Why can't they figure the offensive friggin' line out?
Well, when I got drafted, we had my left tackle was Luke Pettigrew. Left guard was Rich.
Mm-hmm.
Center was O'Hara. Right guard was Snee, and the right tackle was Kareem. The only one of that group that changed from the start of me being with the Giants to the end was Luke Pettigrew.
Yeah.
Luke was a first-round draft pick out of Notre Dame. Was a good-ass tackle. Don't know what happened throughout negotiations with him and the Giants, but he was the only one out of the 5 that changed throughout my whole time being with the Giants. So you got to keep a guy, you got to keep a group of guys together on the O-line to build that camaraderie, to build, the trust in each other, So if I got a running back and I'm learning, knowing that Rich Seibert is not, he's not going to go around the outside when we run power, but he's going to swab the hole and try to create a hole inside versus going outside when you see it didn't change, right? I know Rich is going to do that. I know Rich. I know that. I know what Snee's going to do. Snee's going to go around. Snee's going to go around outside. Hopefully we get down blocks and get some movement where he ain't got to go all the way outside when he's pulling, right? I know Kareem. Kareem is a great pass blocker. Kareem he could have some problems with speed, so we need to be able to chip for him. If you consistently keep changing your offensive line year in and year out, who's learning anything? Who's learning on what bad does this guy do, or what he's good at, what he's bad at, right? No one knows, because you consistently get new guys in every time, because you consistently blame a line for the lack of success for the team. So that makes you go out and get a lineman. 2 years later, you get another lineman. 2 years later, you get another lineman. That's not really helping anyone,
Yeah, no, 100%. And listen, all those guys played 16 games that year, and you had Deal as a left tackle, right? I mean, so you had that mainstay, and you look at San Francisco in the trenches, they kicked the snot out of the Giants up front. And listen, you're talking about, as a running back, you can appreciate this. Second line of defense now, right? When you start to have corners or DBs making that tackle, that means you're getting through that first line. And that's what McCaffrey was able to do. The horrible tackling on Debo, a couple plays, Kittle killed him. Purdy, he looked like he wanted to throw a couple picks here and there early on, your guy, right? And he just settled in. The Giants were not winning that game. My issue is I knew the defense was going to have some problems, and they're feast or famine. They got 1 sack. They have 0 takeaways. But then offensively, man, you got weapons, and yet you're not really utilizing them now. Does that go back to your original point if you have a shaky offensive line, or does the quarterback also have to be able to elevate the players around him?
Man, in today's football, the quarterback cannot elevate players around him. It just can't. I mean, it's not going to happen. I don't see no quarterback elevating nobody around him. Right? Mahomes, no, he's not. Without Kelsey, he loses. He didn't elevate Kelsey. Without Kelsey, he loses.
Burrow, Herbert?
Huh?
So the top tier quarterbacks, you're saying, and your point, I get it with Kelsey, because look at the struggles when he's not on the field. But we're still talking top tier quarterbacks, man. Daniel Jones is getting paid. I hate to bring it up. You have to bring it back to the dollars. He's getting paid like a top tier quarterback.
Absolutely. But you can't leave it up to him to make the team better and make everybody around him better. I mean, it doesn't work like that. In order for him to make someone else better, he needs protection.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much relying on others.
Yeah.
Football is like that. That's why I say you're not gonna make anybody better as I can run the best route in the world and the ball be behind me or in front of me too far, not accurate. That's not making nobody around you better. You know what I'm saying? It's just I don't know, man. I just don't want to put that much in the quarterback. I don't think that's what it is.
I'm not laying, by the way, B, I'm not to cut you off. I'm not laying it at the feet of Daniel Jones. I'm just saying what'll happen now is if he's not on the same page with Waller, if they're not targeting Hyatt, if they're not getting Hodges the ball, whether these guys can't get separation or not, some of the throws were not where they should have been last night. He's probably not on the same page, but people will go back to the contract and they'll go back to what they paid him based on what he did last year and what they expect him to do this year. So you know this. The quarterback position is the most scrutinized position in all of sports, right? It's a face of the franchise. So after a game like last night or Dallas, you get on them. Second half against Arizona, you praise them. That's just the nature of the position, is it not?
Mm-hmm. That's it. I guess this is why you get paid the big bucks as a quarterback, right? You got to be able to take the blame when your team loses, whether you got no time or not, or whether you can run the ball or not, whether your defense sucks or not. It's your fault, right? I don't know, man. I don't know where the Giants go from here. I just want them to continue getting better. Yeah, at least week in, week out, you know, score some points and be able to compete with whoever they're on the field against. I truly do believe we got enough time to be able to turn it around. Will they turn it around or not? I have no idea. I wish they do. I don't know, man. I don't really know where to go. I don't really know where to go or where to start to point the finger to see, where's the problem with the team, you know?
Have you ever had seasons? Have you ever endured seasons as a player? And it's tough because you guys, I told you this, I would get so friggin' annoyed because you guys would jump out of the gate 5-3, 6-2. And then you'd kind of fade in the second half. But do you recall any seasons where, you know, it's that first series early on, and you're like, oh man, shit, this might be a long season if we don't get it together early. Like you can tell right away in the course of a game, especially early on, if it's going to be one of those rough seasons.
We was playing the Cincinnati Bengals one time. And I never had that feeling, but I did have it about a game. But the season, no. Playing against Cincinnati Bengals, maybe when that thing went 3 and out, ran power, ran toss, and then we ran like a naked, nothing. 4th down and 10. They were so physical, hitting so hard. I'm like, yeah, this is about to be one of them games right here where we're going to barely win it. We're going to barely win it, and I'm going to be sore as hell at the end of the day because they are hitting. But as far as the season is concerned, no, because the season, we had the best season. I thought we were going to be pretty solid too. But we started off and we lost the first 2. So I'm like, man, I thought this was going to be our year. Well, we lost the first 2 and we ripped off 6 straight, ended up winning the Super Bowl. So you can't ever really tell just in the beginning of the season. You just got to keep playing. You just got to keep playing and keep hoping you get opportunity to get better.
You talking that Cincinnati game, was that 2008?
Cincinnati game was
that high scoring game?
Yeah, it was, I think, in 2008.
That was early in the season. That was a real high scoring game.
They were physical, boy.
Yeah. San Francisco last night. I mean, how do you not look at this team and say they're a bunch of dogs, man? They just manhandle. Like, just friggin' manhandle you.
Who's winning out of them in Philly?
Where are they playing?
I don't know.
Are they playing in, let's just say, are they playing in Philly or are they going to play this game in San Francisco? You tell me. Give me the location right now. Because right now, after 3 weeks, they're the best team in the NFL. San Francisco is.
Philly, I think I can agree with you. I think I can agree with you there.
Philly doesn't want to admit it right now, and Eagles fans don't want to hear it because they see a little blue helmet, and they see you. But they're leaking a little bit of oil, man, because you better beat Tampa Bay. Okay, that's number one. Tampa Bay has a good defense. They don't turn the ball over. Mayfield has played clean football, but offensively for the Eagles, little concern here. You know, the bloom is off the rose there with Jalen. Mm-hmm. He's got to play better. Offense has to play better. You know, A.J. Brown's barking, so what happens? They target him 3 times the next series. You have a very good tight end in Goddard. You don't get him involved. I think it has to do with the play calling and having different coordinators. But right now, best team for me, the most complete team in the NFL, 3 weeks, it's got to be San Francisco. Has to.
I definitely agree.
They're just too physical.
I agree with that.
They're too physical, man. They just, like McCaffrey, he just will not go down.
No, he will go down. If you tackle his ass, he will go down.
Well, you can't go as his legs. Wrap him up.
Wrap him up and don't let him drag you.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, speaking of running backs, whew, man, that was it's a tough injury for Nick Chubb, man. I feel.
Oh, man, it sucks so bad, man. Yeah, it was a tough situation for Chubb, man. Chubb led the league last year in rushing. Um, great, great 3 down running back, man. Just got hurt, man. It sucks, man. Season's over, major injury. It sucks.
Did you hear the story about the running backs basically colluding to fake injuries? And like it was kind of dismissed by the players union, just um there's been like stories like that have been coming out. And I'm just again like I don't know, you and I talked about the running back position for so long, but apparently the NFL was saying NFL Player Association was telling running backs to fake injuries to show the league just how dangerous the position is. Now, you played the position at a high level for a decade. And is that total nonsense and bullshit, knowing that that position is ridiculously constantly a collision position? And now I'm telling you to fake an injury to show how dangerous it is?
Nobody never told me to fake an injury. I don't know, man. We definitely put it all on the line when it comes to running the rock. Everybody's gunning for you. Everybody's coming at you. We just will never get the proper respect. But I never heard them faking. And it's shit. The only time you fake an injury is when you're tired and need a blow. So tell somebody to hit the deck.
Yeah, I get why you guys want to get paid and deserve to get paid, but I also understand taking a step back objectively why they don't get paid anymore. Like last night, I recorded the game because I was broadcasting. I went back and I watched everything, and they had a piece on the decline of the running back, and they attribute it to Shanahan because back in the day, Shanahan was able to put, your Terrell Davises, your Orlando Garys, your what was the man? He had like all these Mike Anderson, all these running backs that were getting 1,000 yards. You look at the position now compared to when you played, would you say the running back position is underutilized, or is it just a position that we have severely devalued?
Just a position that's being devalued. Because they still use us. They still use the running back. It's just devalued. Still run the ball, still do all the stuff that's needed, but they just don't look at us the same for whatever, because they feel like if I get flipped and I say, you know what, I'm not doing this, I'm going to sit out until I get my money, whatever, well, they're just going to go out and get some young guy that's making league minimum and give them just enough to be successful. Not exactly what you gave them, but just enough to be on the wing end of things. That's all they care
about. What's the most carries you had in a season?
What'd you say?
What was the most carries you had in a season? Don't worry, I pulled it up.
What is it? I don't know.
224.
Oh, yeah. It's about right. When everybody else are getting like 320.
That was in 2009. How many attempts you think you got? Now you started 15 games that season. How many attempts you think you got the next year?
In 2009, it was half of that, probably not half of that, but like 100 and something, maybe 90, 80, somewhere around there. I don't know.
147.
Well, okay, 147 because they had to cut it because Ahmad was the guy then that they're coming out 2010. He started.
And you were 28 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
So 29, you carried it 152 times. And then we won't get into San Francisco because you know how I feel about that. But anyway, did you feel it by that time?
Huh?
Did you start to feel it in your body by that time?
No, not really. No, not really. I just didn't. I don't know. I didn't take care of myself like I should have. I didn't do the necessary things health-wise to take care of my body the way it should have been. But I didn't feel the decline until like after like my 8th year in the league is when I really started to feel it. But that was just because I was hurt. Got hurt in the preseason. Kareem Jackson, he was with the Texans at the time. He hit me in my legs and kind of slowed me down, and I was out for like 6 weeks. It was during preseason. So I think that slowed me down more than anything as far as my career situation. But if it wasn't for that, I think I would have been okay to play another 3 years, 4
Another
years.
3 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I always wanted to ask you that.